Verse, chorus, universe, DL here. How is everybody? Hope you're well. Hey, before this starts, I just wanted to give a quick shout out to the teams, the labels, and the bands that gave us rights to play their music. In no particular order, that was Yola Tango, Kalila, In Flames, and Black Belt Eagle Scout. Thank you so much for letting us play your music. It means a lot that we get to put that sound there with that review so they can kind of get a real small glimpse into what might be. A reminder that just because our reviews might not be all positive, because there is a bit of who are we to get the rights to some of these that we didn't give great reviews for. It's just our opinion. And I am the first to admit that our opinions are probably wrong. And we usually disagree with each other. I think that's a very healthy thing. So again, thank you so much for letting us play your music, particularly to Black Belt Eagle Scout, that team and the label there. I have the vinyl. I will advocate for that album, particularly the vinyl. Great one to own with a beautiful booklet that I just think is a whole encompassing art project that you need to experience in order to really understand the album, or at least try to. I guess we'll get with the episode now. Cheers, everybody. Would you go there? Coming up on Verse, Chorus, Verse, I hope you guys brought some tomato juice because we have a few real skunks that are joining us tonight. That's next. Where you go, where you go, where you go, where you go, where you hiding? I'ma roll, I'ma roll, I'ma roll, let me roll, let me ride with. We're together now. Welcome to Verse, Chorus, Verse. I am DL. I reached on that one a little bit, but I'm okay with it. With me is Rachel. Give me a female lead singer or give me death polio. Rachel, how are you doing today?
So good. So many female lead singers.
Also with us is Evil, jealous he didn't think of the name Black Belt Eagle Scout first. Jimmy. Evil, how are you today?
I am craving a red beer or a Bloody Mary now that you mentioned tomato juice.
I would take either right now. I feel like I haven't talked to you guys in a long time.
It's been too long.
I feel like I haven't seen your faces. Rachel, what's new?
Oh, gosh, so much. This shirt. Wait, hold on.
It's a strawberry with guns. This is a strawberry.
He's got guns.
Rachel's got the dad joke of the night. She's wearing it.
So far.
Evil, same question. How have you been besides busy?
Busy. Went to Phoenix. It was rainy there. Fucking Phoenix was rainy. Yeah. Awesome.
Camping or resorting?
Resorting.
Nice.
No, Airbnb-ing. VRBOing. I stayed, saw some cool stuff. Saw one of Frank Lloyd Wright's places. Like one of his actual homes, not one that he built, one that he actually lived in.
You saw a really fucking badass music museum too.
Very cool. Music Instruments Museum.
Yeah.
MIM, I think that place was fucking awesome. It's a bit overwhelming.
So what's the actual name of it?
A Music Instruments Museum, I think. MIM. But yeah, it's fucking cool. They had instruments from all over the globe, regions, countries. There was just it's like all museums. There's just so fucking much to digest. Yeah. But then they had this like special room that you go in, and that's where all the Prince stuff was, and Clapton stuff, and Hendrix stuff. See fucking Prince's gold microphone and his white piano and
God damn.
one of his green suits, and that was fucking awesome. And then the guitar that Clapton wrote fucking Layla on, and recorded Layla on, and it was beat the fuck up. The fretboard was all worn out. He played that guitar.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
That's really fucking cool. We are here today doing our first quarter quickfire reviews. Woo. First one of the year. Come to find out, you guys, I did a little bit of a straw poll from some listeners, and this was fairly consistently one of our most popular consistent episodes. This is one of the favorites that we do.
This is a fun one.
Consistently one of our consistent episodes?
Consistently, yeah.
Yes. It is consistent.
Consistently of our consistent episodes, it was consistent.
I'm glad we're holding up the status quo.
Before we start, though, when I did reach out, I had a couple people actually ask separately, and I'm going to start with you, Evil.
Yeah.
I promise you this is not trying to catch you guys and then fire you. This is, look, all three of us have been it seems like extremely busy this year. And the chatter is, the VCV chat pile has been a little neglected this year, I've got to say.
Yeah.
Which is all of our faults. We're just fucking busy. But Evil, the question arose, how do you go about studying for these specific ones? And particularly this year when we're busy as shit, like, were you a once through on all these? Did you listen to them in order? Like, how did you study for this?
I usually listen to them in order, however it comes to us. I try to listen to each album at least once, take some notes or earmark some thoughts, and then I'll go back and be like, okay, this needs more attention. This needs more attention. I don't necessarily listen to all albums more than once because sometimes I listen to them like, that's enough for me. Yeah. Or it'll be an album where I'm like, I like this. I'm going to listen to this album more in the future. So I'm going to set it aside because I want to come back to it and I'll give more attention to some of the other stuff. I try to listen in different environments. So I try to listen to stuff as background music, which often doesn't work out very well. I try to listen on a walk where I'm not like preoccupied with anything else. And then I'll just sit down and listen to like some specific tracks. I like to look at credits for the album and some other stuff and learn about the artists if I don't know anything about them at all.
I feel like for this episode, I feel like there was a lot to learn about these artists.
Yeah.
Most of these artists I didn't really know much of anything about.
Yeah.
I feel personally like there are a good amount of albums on here that I'm not really a fan of that I feel like in half a year I'm going to be like wanting to hear it again.
Maybe.
We'll see.
Probably not.
Rachel, same question. Do you listen to them in order and how much time do you give these albums?
This round, I actually, like the second that you sent us the list, I made a Spotify Quickfires playlist to
all
listen
10
to.
albums?
So I've had that going for...
Damn. Okay.
Just so they're easier to find and I can remember which one we're covering. And so I started listening to them a while ago, really casually. I had a lot of mindless data entry-ish stuff at work recently. And so I was able to actually listen at work. I sit with music. I turn on the TV and have the lyrics on the TV. And then on my computer, I'll have my notes on one side. And then I will have Explorer open and then just looking up the stuff about the artist and their lives because I go into the unimportant rabbit holes of who they've dated and like who they've collaborated with and who that person that they've collaborated with has dated. And, you know,
look out,
it's just
TMZ.
a rabbit hole.
Yeah. These might be my favorite episodes to do, but we can't get into it yet. We have to start with the most important part of the night. What are we drinking? Most important part of the day. Oh, what are we drinking?
It's daytime.
Yeah. But it's Saturday. So we can still get our drink on.
We can still get our drink on.
Damn, Skippy. Let's start with Evil. I've only seen water so far.
Well, I am drinking water. And tonight I'm drinking whiskey. So I got to go a little easy today. And I think this is a first. I don't know if I've ever had an actual beer while we've recorded.
Ooh.
I didn't think
not
you
unless
ever
we're in
beer.
person.
I'm having a pint. I'm going to have a pint of Guinness.
That looks like Guinness.
It's a Guinness. It's my favorite light beer. I mean, seriously, it's like 4 point whatever, 4.2.
It's very low percentage.
Yeah, compared. I mean, that's less than like, you know, domestic, like a Budweiser or a whatever Coors.
Yeah,
the non-light versions. I mean, it's my favorite light beer, and they're delicious. There was a can sitting in the pantry. I think Megan made stew or something with Guinness a while back, and I'm like, I'll drink a Guinness today.
There was about a 1.5-year stint of my life where the only two things that I drank were Guinness and Jaeger
together.
That's just what I drank. Like, it's usually shots.
Yeah.
I don't remember very much of that year, but both of those, because Jaeger's not high alcohol content either.
Nope.
But when you drink enough of it, it does get you drunk. I promise. Rachel, what are you drinking?
It's finally nice here in Idaho. The weather is warming up and it almost feels like spring. So I made...
Assholes.
Is it not nice there?
It's been pouring rain for fucking 2 weeks straight. It's never gonna fucking stop. We're at that point in Washington right now. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead. This isn't about me. This is about you.
I made an Italian soda, some soda water, vanilla, and some 44 North.
What accent was that?
Soda water? I want to say Boston.
That sounds,
is what that happened?
No.
What was it?
I'm not Boston.
That's it. It's vanilla soda water, 44 North, huckleberry, and a little bit of cream.
No, it sounds really good, actually.
Nice and refreshing.
So I'm going to touch on this now. Look, I'm drinking Coors Light, and here's why. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not. I'll cut that out.
Nerd.
Evil liked
Yeah,
it.
that's. I know what you were doing.
So I wanted to give this a try. I'm not a huge rum guy, but I want to be. Correct me if I'm wrong, Evil, but to me, if you're a cocktail person, rum is kind of the, I don't want to say advanced stage.
It's vexing.
Yes. There's so many angles that you can go with it, and it's such a funky flavor that you really have to.
Well, and there are so many different types of rum too. Like,
Yes.
Pogo, it's like Smith and Cross, because that's completely different than fucking Sailor Jerry. They're all over the place.
So I'm trying to find a really good rum drink this year, but I also have decided this year that I'm pretty much only going to drink Palomas. So I've found a Flamingo, which is essentially a Paloma, but with rum instead of tequila. So I have lime, simple syrup, grapefruit soda, some grapefruit. Is it is it just plantations, or is it
3-star?
3-star.
Plantation 3-star. That's good. I was going to ask, that's a good light rum for that drink.
Yeah,
Nice.
That's my go-to for light. I've always just funky enough, but not crazy for me.
That's good. I think they make that specifically for cocktails.
I mean, I know.
Those spirits that was designed for cocktails.
I know that.
You didn't know that.
The fist pump betrays you.
That's what we're drinking. Flamingo, a Guinness, and a Italian soda with huckleberry. We got 10 albums that we got to review. So
many
let's go
albums.
ahead and take a break. We will be right back.
Don't confuse me, y'all. I'm gonna bring a fucking can.
We are back. 10 albums. We got to get into it.
Let's do it.
We can't yet.
Why?
We have some pre-stuff we got to do first.
What?
Shots.
Paniggets.
Oh, right.
You know what? I will start because I know my answers already, because it's not fucking rocket surgery here. We all have to pick.
Rocket surgery?
Yeah,
It's like brain science.
exactly.
You guys are idiots.
We have to pick what each other's favorite of these 10 are going to be. I'm starting because the answers for Evil is In Flames and the answer for Rachel is Paramore. I'd respect them if they had different answers, but I don't think they do. So that's
Interesting.
those are my answers for them, In Flames and Paramore. Rachel, what are each of our favorite albums?
David, Black Belt Eagle Scout.
It's a good name, man.
Evil, Gorillas.
Evil
think it's
gets the
Gorillaz.
Gorillas.
Definitely, one of us are definitely right. It's either Gorillas or In Flames.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Evil, what about you?
I said, I'm going to be wrong. I think I'm just going to be wrong.
That's all
for
right.
you, I said Paramore, and for Rachel, I said Kelala. Is that how you pronounce her name? I think it's
Kalila?
Kelala.
It feels like Kalela.
I think it's
Kelala.
yeah, anyway, whatever.
Exactly. Okay. Now we have to pick which album is going to get the highest score overall. Reminder for all of our listeners, what we do on this is we have 6 minutes to talk about each album. At the end of that, we each give our favorite song, and we give 2 thumbs up being the highest, 2 thumbs down being the lowest. You can give no thumbs. We'll go right back to Evil. Which album is going to get the highest score?
Paramore.
So Evil must have liked Paramore.
I'm not going to
see that
say
coming.
whether or not that was my choice before I heard your pick for Rachel or not. Strategery.
He doesn't know
Well,
me.
just so you know, Evil, the fucking red picture with the person behind her, that's Hayley Williams. That's the Paramore lead singer.
Oh,
She's a large fan.
okay.
Rachel, who do you think will have the highest score out of these 10?
I picked In Flames.
Rachel's going for that ass-kissing I love metal thing again.
This week, wait till Friday.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, she's going to lose all her metal friends next week on the YouTube. We are all fucking over the place, and I now feel like I'm probably going to lose this because I said 10,000 Gex. That's the one
That's a good
I
guess.
think will have the highest score. So now we got to do lowest. Which album is going to get all of the low thumbs? I am going with Yola Tango. Let's go back to Rachel, what about you?
I said Kalalela.
Evil.
Only because it sucks.
Evil. Better change around a couple
man.
answers and tell me what the lowest.
Sorry, Evil.
The lowest, I'll say Sam Smith.
It's also a good guess. Okay, one more question before we get started. I just want to know, because this one was so fucking interesting to me, these 10. Rachel, I'll start with you. Did you absolutely love or absolutely hate? You don't have to name anything, but just yes or no. Did you absolutely love any of these albums? Did you absolutely hate any of these albums?
Love, no. Hate, yep.
That's a good answer. Evil, same
I
question.
loved a couple.
Oh.
I was surprised by a couple. I didn't hate any of them. If I could sum up this group of 10 albums with one word, it's boring.
Yeah.
I was fucking so bored by this music.
Yeah. Let's get to it, guys. Let's start with our first album, which we do have the rights to, ladies and gentlemen. The album is Raven by Kalela. I'm going to start each one of these giving 3 prominent publications scores.
Oh, fun. Okay.
And then we'll go into the shit. The 3 that I'm going to be reading off score-wise from now on from the major publications are Pitchfork, Guardian, and the ever-important and honorable Needle Drop. That gives us a nice round space of the extremely important people that talk about albums. Pitchfork gave this an 8.4, calling it a masterful display of tension and release. Guardian gave this a 4 out of 5, and the ever-important and honorable Needle Drop gave it a strong 6. I will start with this one. This is a good lo-fi album. This is not a good album. There are songs on this that backgroundy are nice. Run, Closure, Contact, conceptually they're good. Also, these are songs that I would have really liked in my early 20s. I have zero interest in them now. Absolutely zero. I bartended at a club in Reno for a while. It was a 24, it shut down when we were too drunk to count anymore. So usually by like 4 a.m. It was a pretentious-y kind of uppity club. Cool, super dressed up people drinking Stella Artois back when Stella was awesome. They'd have like hip 50s art movies playing in the background. And this is the type of music that would be playing very, very, very loudly in the club.
I picked up like 90s progressive R&B vibes. I picked up like Sade vibes.
Oh, yeah. Ooh.
And then
Good pull.
I've come to find out she's covered a Sade song. She covered like a Tattoo. I fucking love this album.
Oh.
I thought it was great.
Awesome.
As background music, but also just listening to it. I'm like, I dug it. She's a great singer. I liked it. It wasn't offensive to me like some of the fucking music I'm going to talk about later. It was generally enjoyable. I liked the layered vocals. I liked the bass lines. Some moments that reminded me of some of the music done by like Burial. Like there was like this weird drum and bass thing that
super spacey.
You wouldn't think that. You wouldn't think that I would like that kind of music, but I do from time to time. I don't know if I'm going to listen to it a ton post this quickfire, but I'm not opposed to it. So when you earlier mentioned a lot of these albums that I might want to come back to in a few months, this might be one of those for me.
This album was not for me. It was real, like you said, just really slow, backgroundy music that I would hear in a sushi restaurant or while having sex. These are the only reasons I would ever listen to this music, because it's slow and boring and it's not my vibe. That said, it wasn't bad. It was just not at all for me. There were, like you said, there's some really good points, but for the most part, it was real meh.
Understandable. So this is from the label Warp. It is a little over an hour long. Another one of the big, I don't want to say problems with this album, but one of the things that maybe made it a little weaker for me was the fact that 2 or 3 of the songs that I really, really liked on it were the last songs on the album. Foolie is this super, like kind of what Evil was talking about, incredibly spacey, minor to major, really cool percussion attempts. And Sorbet has amazing synth resolution, particularly towards the end. There are soundscapes on this that on the second half that work way better for me. Do you think an album like this should be an hour, or do you think it should be shorter, or do you like the fact that something like this that you might have on in the background is 62 minutes?
I like the way you framed that, because my initial response was no album. But to your point, if it's going to be played sort of like passively, if you're listening to it in the background, then maybe longer is okay. I don't feel strongly about either way.
I think longer is fine.
It felt long.
That's also what
it
she
did
said.
feel long.
I don't think that this is an album to be listened to actively, so I think the length of it doesn't really matter.
You don't partake in any sort of marijuana, do you, Evil?
No, not really. Not my thing.
Not really. That makes it sound like... No, my point, I often think as a music lover that there are frequently albums that if I still smoked pot like I did back in the day, that I would probably like them a lot fucking more. This is one of those.
That makes sense.
I didn't have to ask Rachel because I know.
Oh.
I love like sludgy, like stoner metal.
Yeah.
A fucking lot. The Sword, Corrosion of Conformity.
Sleep.
Yeah. One of my favorite albums in that vein is the first album by Down, which was like a super group. It's like, I've loved that album since it came out. I think it was like 1995. I listened to it actually on the marijuana, probably in 2010 or 11. And I was like, oh my God,
Now
it's
I
even
get it.
better.
Yeah.
But I already loved it. It's like, I don't need to be altered to like that kind of music, but it was just like,
But it
did
couldn't
help.
fucking hurt. Yeah.
oh my God.
For me, the best song on the album is either Fully or Happy Ending. I liked both of them equally. I did put on here, if I still did drugs, I think I'd like this way more. I gave it no thumbs. Depending on a couple more listens, they could end up down, they could end up up. I'm not sure. Evil, what about you?
Best songs, because I like the way they go together, is Let It Go and On the Run. I really like the transition between the two, and I like both songs probably equally. One thumb up for me. I'll give it 1.5. I like this.
Ooh,
1.5.
That's practically
thumb up.
2 thumbs.
All right.
Favorite song? Missed Call. Let's go with that. I don't care. No offense. They all were very similar to me, and so I didn't pick one. And I was listening to this, and I was rewarding myself with M&Ms. So after each song, I got an M&M, and I was really like, "This will keep me going."
Jesus
and about
Christ.
halfway through, I was like, "I don't care about the M&Ms anymore. Can we listen to something else?" Surprisingly enough, I gave it 1 thumb though. They tried. It just wasn't for me.
You gave it 1 thumb up?
Yeah.
Your rating system makes no fucking sense
that's
whatsoever.
very confusing.
Points don't matter.
Thank you very much, Kalila. Thank you very much, Kelila. Let's get to our second album of the night, which we also have the rights to.
Yay!
Black Belt Eagle Scouts, The Land, the Water, and the Sky. The 3 amazing publications that rated this. Pitchfork giving it a 7.5, calling it patient cinematic indie rock. Guardian did not review it. And the ever important honorable I did not realize how hard that was going to be to say every fucking time. And the ever important and honorable Needle Drop also did not review it. This is pretty indie. Evil.
So I have to frame my reactions to all of this music. This group of albums is under a higher level of scrutiny because it's in a time period where some of my fucking favorite music has been released. And so everything's getting compared to the 3 Unearthed tracks that are out right now and that fucking guitar solo that Nuno released on Everybody. So that's the frame in which I'm looking at everything. This album, I love the production. I like the sound. I like kind of the Northwest vibes it's got going. The first track builds into this like awesome crescendo, making me want more. And then for me, the album just fucking goes nowhere. And it's super repetitive and droning. And like I said earlier, boring. And it just fell flat for me. It's the land, which is like earth. The water, which is water. The sky, we'll say that's air. This fucking shit needs more fire. It's missing fire. It built up. I did like that first track, and then it went nowhere for me after that. And that's going to be a recurring theme through the rest of this episode.
Oh, poor episode.
I got Stockholm's with this. Like the more I listened to it, the more I started to like it. I think it was because it was the order of operations of which I listened. I listened to the Kalila first, and it was very sleepy. And so going into this, which was barely above very sleepy, I didn't love it. But the more I read on her, the artist, the meaning behind the songs, and really dug into the lyrics, I actually started to like it a little bit more. And there was a lot of simplicity in a lot of the lyrics, not very creatively written, maybe, in not an insulting way, not complex. But I generally hate that. I liked it for some reason. It worked really well with what she was trying to communicate. And I love that she's singing to an audience. The story was very much of, this is the music I needed when I was a kid. I wanted to see somebody like me singing, and so I'm singing for you. I enjoyed this. I thought it was good.
Yeah, so Black Belt Eagle Scout, otherwise known as Catherine Paul, is been on my radar for about a year now, and I was looking forward to this album coming out. She is Pacific Northwest born and bred, and this album is all about her going back to her people's land, basically. This is all about her trek back to, she's a Swinomish indigenous person. She went back to really get a feel for her land, reconnect with her ancestor spirits, all that stuff that frankly people like me just don't fucking understand. But because of that, I've always been completely fascinated with that sort of thing. I agree with Evil that this at times can be a very hard listen because of how slow it is. I think this is an incredibly mood-specific album. And I also think we talk frequently about how I'm probably not necessarily the target audience for this, and I'm probably not. Mm-hmm. But that said, I really, really enjoyed this. It is my kind of album. It does have some early 90s Slater Kinney in there that I really dig. Mm-hmm. Also, okay, the vinyl too. So I pre-bought the vinyl, so I didn't even know what it was going to sound like, but it comes with this little booklet too, that while you're listening to the album, she has this little booklet that tells this kind of story and has pictures of her walking through her land and picking berries and just this cool kind of all-encompassing experience.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that was really, really amazing. I also really loved some of the lyrics on this.
Yeah.
I know you speak through me. I feel it in the sound of water touching all the rocks. Mm-hmm. No one can take this moment away because my blood runs through this land. That's just really fucking cool to me. This also has a very Mazzy Star feel too, and I've always been a big Mazzy Star guy.
I agree.
I fucking dug it. One of the other things that I really love about this album is that this album is incredibly sad. I don't know that if you're coming out with an album like this, trying to reconnect with land where there really isn't much land anymore as an indigenous person, how that's not going to be a fucking sad album. But this album isn't ever pity searching. This album isn't asking for empathy or do this to save the whatever. It's not. It's her very confidently saying that you can't kill water running over rocks. You can't kill wind going through trees. I'm always going to have that. There's something very, very fucking cool about that. Evil. Thumbs and favorite song.
Like I said, opening track, My Blood Runs Through This Land. And then unfortunately the fire went out for me after that. I gave it 1 thumb down.
Yikes.
Rachel, what about you?
2 thumbs up. Yeah.
With a I'm not sure about it face?
With a mechanical pencil. Oh. No, I'm just sad. I'm sad that Evil didn't like it.
I did give this 2 thumbs up. I do think it's conceptually, it's fantastic. It's beautiful, and mood specifically, especially if you have the vinyl in your, I don't know. And there's nothing I can sound after that isn't going to sound douchey. So 2 thumbs up.
If you have the vinyl and the additional booklet.
Exactly.
You read with the read-along book and...
You will hey with the flavor. Okay, so we've got three thumbs, right? Yeah, I can count. Thank you, Black Belt Eagle Scouts. Great stuff there. Let's move on to number 3, Lil Yachty. Let's start here. Pitchfork gave it a 6, saying that the soul and psych rock runs aground. Guardian didn't review it. Rolling Stone did, but you have to pay to read it, so fuck them. Oh. And the ever important and honorable Needle Drop gave it a light to decent 7.
Lil Yachty. This is Lil Yachty's 5th studio album.
Jesus.
And it is a non-rap album. So he went kind of for a psychedelic rock vibe on this one. And it is very different from anything that he's put out before. This is great music to do LSD and sit around to. Do kids still do LSD? Question mark. This is what we were talking about before. If drugs were involved in music, this album would have been better. I appreciate the effort so much on this. I did not love the album, but I do... Good job trying something new. That's an artist for you, not sticking with the exact same thing that they know and actually reaching outside of their normal box. There were a couple points that I was kind of into. There was kind of a disco thing going on with Running Out of Time. I've officially lost vision. There was a point where it sounded like Rage, and I feel like you should re-listen to it. Say Something had a music video that went out with it, and I try not to love the singles too much, but the music video added really well to the imagery of the story of that song, of like sitting and trying to get something out of somebody during a conversation. And so loved it. Anyway, pretty good album for what it was, I think.
I agree that this is great music to sit around and do LSD to and shit. In fact, I loved doing that at one point in my life with this album back when it was Dark Side of the Moon.
Oh, shit.
It was fucking fantastic. Going into song one, this wasn't even like, let's do a Pink Floyd-y type of thing. This is fucking Pink Floyd. This is Pink fucking Floyd. Sorry, I didn't even put in my notes. I don't even remember it's a song off Dark Side of the Moon, probably one of the first two songs, but it's fucking Pink Floyd. I couldn't believe when I looked and I saw that they didn't have to get rights to anything. You know why? Because this is fucking Pink Floyd. I had two parts of this review, honestly, and this is how I was when I first listened to it. I did kind of warm up to it after I listened to it a few more times. It is a little bit fresh in comparison to what it's coming out with. I warmed up. Here's the first time that I'm going to talk about this. Can we fucking stop with the goddamn auto-tune? Like,
yeah.
Holy shit.
That's fair.
This is fucking Pink Floyd with shitty sopranos in auto-tune. Tenor, sorry. Anyway, you know what I'm trying to say. Pink Floyd with some guy going, it's fucking dumb.
That was pretty good.
Thank you.
Is that Boston?
There are very few artists that can pull a style like this off. I wrote down The Weeknd does a pretty good job of it. Pharrell does a good job, but that's because he writes his own shit. He doesn't steal it from fucking Pink Floyd. Sorry, Evil. I'm going to let you talk now.
I was like kind of rubbing my hands together like, oh, I get to hate listen to an album. And then it's like so completely not what I was expecting. What in the fuck is going on here? And it's not good. I'm not going to say that this is good, but it surprised me in an enjoyable way by not being at all what I was expecting. And I actually kind of vibed to it a little bit. The opening track gave me like vibes to the opening of the animated movie Heavy Metal. It gave me like, oh my God, like Blue Oyster Cult kind of, you know. And so I like was thinking positively of it, but then of course the auto-tune is super fucking annoying. It's not like Post Malone levels of annoying, but it's annoying.
It's the whole fucking album.
Well, and so I look at credits. It's got like 26, 27 people listed. All Music has 46 fucking people listed in the credits for making this album. 46.
Yeah.
That's 7 shy of a fucking NFL squad roster. Yeah. And so it first listen was positive, and then after that it kind of faded a bit for me. I do like that it was completely not what I was expecting. I do enjoy that. I like that surprise. Yeah. In this group of fucking boring ass albums, it was nice to be surprised a little bit.
The reason I picked this, because this never would have been on my radar, but this did get a lot of Instagram love and a lot of this is album of the year contender sort of shit.
I don't know about that.
Rachel, favorite song in Thumbs?
Say Anything. I thought that one was great. Thumbs, I gave it 1.5. I appreciated the effort.
Yeah, I know it's hard to press record and play a Pink Floyd song. I gave it 2 thumbs down. Obviously, this is a good one song shtick, but this fucking sucked, guys.
You think it deserves no credit whatsoever? 2 thumbs directly down.
That is
the worst score you can give it.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair.
It is pressing play on a mix and mastered thing that he had nothing to do with, which is stealing from 60s artists, and then doing shitty auto-tune, slow singing to it. It's terrible. Okay. That's just one person's correct opinion. Evil, what about you?
What was your favorite song?
Fuck. Yeah. Reach the Sunshine. Actually, there's, Paint the Sky, The Zone. That's the thing. Like, if I heard one song of this guy, I'd be like, oh, okay. Not fucking 16 or whatever's on here.
It is too long. Best song I picked, and the reason why is going to be really silly. The bass line, I'm like, fuck, I've heard this, reminds me of something. The song is Running Out of Time. And the bass line reminds me of the riff to the Ani DeFranco song, Napoleon. It's it's not quite the same notes, but it's got a similar progression and cadence to it. And I'm like, fuck it, that'll be it. I gave it 1 thumbs up because it surprised me, and I deserve being surprised.
you deserve being surprised?
I did, because
All right.
I was not surprised by a lot of this fucking shit that we had to listen to.
That takes us to number 4, which we do have the rights to. Foregone
Yay!
by In Flames. None of those 3, Pitchfork, Guardian, Needle Drop, none of them reviewed it. Only Metal
Idiots.
Places reviewed it. No one dared to give it anything but a glowing review. Imagine that. After listening to this once and then twice, I had to go online because I don't know enough about In Flames. I know that they are one of the founders of a specific type of metal, basically pretty much helped found the whole Swedish metal movement.
Yep.
When I read reviews, it made sense to me and I felt a little better because they were pretty much all glowing. Most of the tendency was this is them going back to their roots or their... I didn't love this. I thought there's incredible musicianship. Obviously the drums, because it's a fucking good metal band, the drums are going to be amazing. The guitar's amazing. There's something very death metal into... almost fucking screamo choruses that really fucking threw me off. Because when I heard In Flames, all fucking Evil talks about are inflamed and unearthed. So when I think In Flames, I'm thinking, okay, this is the heaviest of the fucking heavy. And all of a sudden they cut into these choruses that are a little dainty for metal, if you will.
Dainty.
But progressions through this album work fucking amazingly. Chorus of Slow Decay is amazing. The intro of the album with the acoustic, it's very... this just didn't surprise me. It seemed almost a little copy-pasty. And I am sorry, Evil, go ahead.
This is good metal. It's not great metal. It's
Oh, no. Oh, poor Evil.
mediocre In Flames. It's okay In Flames.
Whoa.
It's, I think, probably their best album since A Sense of Purpose, which was the last album they recorded with Jesper Stromblad. Some of it sounds like Come Clarity, which is my favorite In Flames album, which is kind of like right in the middle of their career, I would say. Here's the thing. By itself, I probably would have really dug this, but I have 2 points of comparison in Unearth, who worship In Flames. Buzz from Unearth is a better flag carrier of old In Flames than current In Flames is. And then last year's album by the Halo Effect, who are basically all ex-In Flame members. They made an album of that old style. This is not In Flames going back to their roots. There's some really fucking good stuff on this album. I'm not going to deny it.
Yeah.
It's missing some personality. Chris Broderick is one of the fucking greatest guitar players on the planet. This is his first album with them. His guitar solos are fucking shredding, but it doesn't have the personality. When listening to interviews from in the Halo Effect, Nicholas England, one of the guitar players, he's like, it was just a bunch of friends getting together. They didn't really have any, that was kind of what they were going to do. He's like, maybe we can get the Wizard, who's Jesper, because Jesper's not like the main songwriter or anything like that, but he's like one of those musicians whose taste is his superpower. He like sprinkles a little bit of melody here and there, or let's rearrange this piece right here. It's like the seasoning to a really good meal. You know, it's like he's the fucking Salt Bae of In Flames. Without him, it's missing just something. It's missing this little something that if that were in there, this might be a fucking phenomenal album. Without that, it's pretty good. I will listen to some of these songs moving forward, whereas I can't say that about some of the most recent In Flames albums. Pretty good metal. It's like okay In Flames.
Rachel, our now resident metalhead, what'd you think of this album?
In listening to the first song, it is very pretty. And I thought, this is a trick. Because I looked at the cover of the album. I honestly didn't really think of the name because I don't really listen to metal on a regular outside of this basis. And then I listened to the second song and I was like, yep, that was a trick. I have not listened to any other In Flames before. So I am judging this just against it. Shut up. Just against itself.
I haven't either.
And I thought it was really great. And so it was kind of hard to hear Evil bash my new favorite metal band.
You're so full of
Whoa,
shit.
hold on. If you think this is great, I'm fucking so happy for you because...
Did you really?
Yes, you can. I will send you my notes. No, I really enjoyed this. I thought it was great. And especially compared, because there was so much slow, I think the juxtaposition of all the slow stuff.
Oh, like
and then hearing this,
finally
I was
something.
like,
Yeah.
Not that little Yachty didn't slap, because it did. But there was so much good stuff in here. And I also liked the transitions between like, are they singing a magical? Are they screaming? Like, what's going on here? What's going to come up next? I don't know.
Anders is a great vocalist. He is.
Yeah.
Ah, man, I'm happy for you because if you like this, I have some In Flames to show you.
Okay.
Like I think you would really like Come Clarity.
That's what she said.
David James.
I'm going to be harder on this album than the rest of the 9 in this group. This is my shit right here.
See, I thought it was going to be the opposite. I thought they could come out with like a steaming pile of shit. And this is fucking fantastic.
No, because they set such a fucking high bar with their earlier work. And there are other bands doing stuff in that vein at a high level that I expect even greater things from In Flames. A band like In Flames, even though they're a metal band and still to the point that the outlets that we picked didn't review them, they're still underground because of metal, and they're still fucking death metal. But they're a big death metal band, and they've had a lot of success and a big career. So it's not totally metal by numbers, but they have like a formula that they have to sort of, I'm sure studios are involved and like, hey, you need to write some hits and when you are sort of revered as the forefather of a whole fucking musical genre, it's hard to live up to that. Cough Metallica. We're going to talk about that in a week. Yeah. They're in a tough spot.
We're at like 9 minutes.
All right. I'll shut up about it. I like the fucking album, but
you wanted to like it more.
Always with In Flames.
Best song for me by far was Bleeding Out. I thought that song was spectacular.
Yeah.
I gave it no thumbs. This is one of those albums I was talking about that I could want to listen to it again in 3 months and be like, yeah, or be like, nope, I was right. There were a couple albums on this list that I had a really fucking hard time concentrating on. It was really not keeping my attention. So no thumbs. Evil.
Here's the thing with In Flames album. I always hate the newest In Flame album. Always. And then when I listened to the newest In Flame album, I listened to like some of the previous ones, and I'm like, oh,
you're like me with Interpol.
Exactly.
There's songs on the albums previously that I hated that I'm like, oh fuck, that was a good song. Or there's going to be a lot of those on this album. State of Slow Decay. I could pick The Great Deceiver. I could even pick the fucking stupidly named A Dialogue in B flat minor, but I'm going to pick Meet Your Maker. I like that track quite a bit. I'm assuming Chris Broderick played that solo. It was fucking awesome. I give it 1.5 thumbs up. I will probably look back on it more fondly than I'm viewing it right now, because being In Flames, it's going to be under so much scrutiny because of my past with the band and how I feel about their whole catalog.
Yeah. Rachel.
I also picked Bleeding Out as my favorite song. I thought it kind of sounded like a video game at the front of it, and that was kind of fun. And I gave it 2 thumbs up, exclamation point.
This is a ruse. She's gaslighting me.
This whole episode, she's just bullshitting everybody.
Sorry.
Last album before we take a break. We've got the completely normal and not at all weird 100 gecs, 10,000 gecs. Pitchfork gave this an 8.2, saying 2 savants making pop music sound absurdly fun. Guardian gave it 4 out of 5 stars. I've never read Guardian, but you're going to see a pattern. That's Guardian's third 4 out of 5 stars or whatever. And then the ever important and honorable Needle Drop gave it a light 8. Evil, what'd you think about 10,000 gecs?
I put it on and listened to it. First of all, it's an LP, but it's 28 minutes long or something like that. It's short.
Yes.
It's LP in name only.
Yeah.
What in the fuck is this? I love it. I fucking love it. It is like weird riffs from Limp Bizkit and Blink 182 and ska mixed with a fucking Kids Bop and TikTok music and like this weird like Zeph DeAntwoord ethos all in a blender and mix it up and pour it out, and you've got this weird ass shit that is so entertaining. I fucking loved it. I listened to this more than anything else. One, because it was the shortest album, and it was just fucking fun to listen to. and refreshing and weird and stupid and tongue-in-cheek and irreverent. Fucking, what was the line about sucking on Anthony Kiedis?
Yeah, Anthony Kiedis sucking on my
Sucking
penis.
on my penis.
Yeah.
So dumb. I love it. I fucking love it. I love this album. It's great.
Rachel.
I agree. This one was the best. So we had Manchester Orchestra, and I actually had listened to that one. And when I got dumped, I was like,
Oh,
no, that's
I'm
kind of
sorry.
sad. Oh, no, totally fine. But then this got thrown in there. I was like, what the fuck is this? And it was fantastic. Loved it. It was so fun. It reminded me of Oliver Tree a little bit.
Yeah.
Like in how just kind of ridiculous it was. I don't know if you guys caught it. Dumbest Girl Alive at the very beginning. I was like, what is this? I know what this is. The riff, the guitar riff at the beginning.
It's Crazy
Train.
Yeah.
It's Crazy Train.
Yeah.
It was so good. It had such a good vibe to it. It was just so much fun, again, against all those slower ambient music albums.
Yes.
So it was great.
Hey, Lil
Loved it.
Yachty, you want to know how to use fucking auto-tune? This is how you use
There you
fucking
go.
auto-tune. As
Yeah.
a ridiculous fucking nonsensical thing. This is when you're supposed to use it. Because this album is fucking ridiculous. But I put down, this is a younger version of the Viagra Boys. This is like a woke bloodhound gang. This is different and rambunctious, and it's fucking killer. And they didn't say who played bass in it. It's two fucking kids doing all this shit.
Right.
I gotta tell you, I will frequently, when studying for these, go on to Genius, the lyric website, and just try to get some points of view on. They do a lot of clips of interviews and stuff on what these fucking people are talking about. And I went on to look up $1 million, the song $1 million, which is the TikTok woman's voice just saying $1 million over and over and over. And that's it. If you go on to Genius and you look up the song and it all just says $1 million, if you click on it, the explanation for the song just has a big fucking stack of money and says, this song is about $1 million. But it's the most fun studying I've had fucking since doing this podcast. I also wrote down the Anthony Kiedis thing.
Same.
References here I wasn't aware of until looking it up, that there's very clear that these people studied a ton of the Dude Ranch and the Boss Tones and Follow the Leader by Korn and like fucking Brown Primus album. Like,
Yeah. It's so smart in how stupid it is. Like
Yes.
this duo is fucking brilliant. They're good at what they do.
when I first heard this, I thought that they were Eastern European, or I did not think they were American. They're fucking kids from St. Louis.
Yeah, I like it. It's fucking great.
I keep saying kids. Are they kids?
Because they're younger than you. That makes them kids.
No,
right?
they're 20s.
That's kids.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
kids.
And my daughter and I, for the past 3 days, have been running around the house singing Doritos and Fritos. And it's very, very fun.
Fucking Frog on the Floor.
That's adorable.
That's
it
the dumbest song I've ever heard in my life.
Frog on the Floor
Yes.
reminds me of like presidents of the United States. It reminds me of.
But it's so catchy.
It is
I
so.
got my tooth removed.
Dude.
Yeah. All right. So
I'm so glad that you guys like this.
I
because-
fucking loved it. When I first turned it on, it was very. None of us could have known what to. Who
No.
expects
Right.
anything
No,
like this?
no, it's fucking great.
Evil favorite song and rating.
Hollywood Baby. I could have picked any of the songs on here, honestly,
Yeah.
but Hollywood Baby stuck out. It has like a Blink 182 vibe and is so irreverent and sing along-ish. 2 thumbs up for me. Solid 2 thumbs up.
Rachel.
I said the best song for me was Billy Knows Jamie. It gave me like these Fred Durst vibes, and I was into that. I also gave it 2 thumbs up because it fucking ruled. So,
Yeah.
David?
So I also said Billy Knows Jamie.
Yay.
This is when I really got the whole Follow the Leader and a little bit of Bloodhound Gang thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 thumbs way up. This is the type of album that I don't even know how much I'd fucking listen to it again, and I'd give it 2 thumbs way the fuck up.
It's so earwormy. I'll
Yes.
listen to this a bunch. This is a good summer, like a good summer album.
And yeah, I'm just crank that key to sucking on my penis.
This is going on the wedding music playlist.
Crank that key to sucking on my
Oh,
penis.
we've got 5 down, 5 to go. We're gonna take a break. We'll be right back. are back. Hey, guess what, everybody?
What?
We've got 5 more albums. We're halfway done, and that's all, and that's it. Next album is This Stupid World by Yo La Tango.
Between the lines, vision blurs, so there's no time to think twice.
We do have the rights to this, ladies and gentlemen, so thank you for that. Guardian gave this 4 out of 5 stars. The ever important and honorable Needle Drop gave this a light to decent 5. And Pitchfork gave it an 8.5, calling it, and I quote, their liveliest album in at least a decade.
Interesting.
With that, I will go to Rachel. What'd you think of Yo La Tango? That's what I thought. Evil. No, just kidding.
I mean, I had never listened to any Yo La Tango before. This was not good. And especially coming off of such fun with 100 Gex, there was nothing exciting about this album. This was written as an instrumental album, and then they added lyrics later.
Is that true?
That is true. They also, they got together
interesting.
just to jam. And then they're like, oh, everybody has COVID and now we can't do anything. So I guess we're going to write an album. And then they wrote this.
Oh,
And so this kind of just explains why this album is not the best album that it could have been. They produced it themselves and mixed it and all the things just while they were bored in their places. I did not love this album. There were a lot of things working against them for this album.
my first note that I wrote on this is holy boringest of boring fucking A. This is the same song over and over. And this is, look, I like music that does slow progressions. I'm the big Radiohead guy. I like the adding of a new part every 20 seconds to build and create something that's just, we talked earlier about maybe if your mind is being altered by something, it's just going to kick your ass. This is not that. This is exactly what I don't want in fucking 7-minute songs.
Right.
It's just the same driving bass line over and over and over. And it's so funny, Rachel, that you said that about the whole jam thing and everything. I didn't know that, but I wrote that this is great music for band warm up. Mm-hmm. That's what this sounds like. It sounds like a fucking band warming up. The last song is the best one, and I don't even like that. This is a completely uninteresting Modest Mouse. There's something incredibly smug about this. It was a little fun when I was working and completely ignoring it. And for rock and roll, that is not good.
Right.
I struggled with this one the most because I wanted to like it. I don't know why. I'm like, I'm going to like this album. I'm going to make myself like this album. And it was, I tried, but it was so fucking boring, man. I swear to God, it fucking went nowhere.
Yes.
Read some of the reviews and people are kind of liking it. I'm like,
Why?
Humongously critically acclaimed.
yes. Their most lively album, and however, I'm like, oh, Jesus, I'm definitely not listening to their other stuff.
On their liveliest album in at least a decade, indie rock's most steadfast institution squares up against ubiquitous darkness.
Man, at Pitchfork, why is the source?
That's it. I give up.
Did you see this is their 17th fucking album?
Yeah.
Hellfire. They've been together for a really long time.
Yeah.
84. They also are the same label as Interpol. So, hey, Matador, I got the rights too for this. Get your shit together.
Oh, die.
Because Interpol's last album was went nowhere. It was boring as fuck. This album went nowhere. It's boring as fuck. Not only does it go nowhere, it's so goddamn repetitive. Mm-hmm. The last thing I put on my notes is do not ever let me be the person that listens to this and enjoys it. Anybody have anything else? We've got a minute left.
Why? That's okay. Let's save it for somebody else.
My chamber's empty. Rachel.
Yep.
Best song and thumbs.
I
I gave it 1.5 up.
give it. Go fuck yourself. I did not pick a best song because all of them were horrible. And the thumbs I put meh. So let's just 2 down. 2 down sounds great.
Me next. Yeah, big shocker. I gave it 2 thumbs down. My favorite song is Until It Happens. There is kind of like a cool demented Chris Isaac sort of thing going on in that song. Yeah, 2 thumbs down. You don't get to be around for this long and come out with something this unbelievably fucking comfortable and so many critics calling it a fucking masterpiece. It's gross. Evil, what about you?
Opening track, Sinatra Drive Break down. I thought maybe it was going to go somewhere, and it didn't. Cool guitar sounds on that track. Some stuff that made me think a little bit of like Sonic Youth, and and then it just, to your point, just fucking repeated that for the rest of the album. I'm like, well, two down for me, because I tried. I fucking really tried. I was like,
nope.
Well, album number 7 is Cracker Island by the Gorillaz. I recorded a YouTube that came out today, actually, and I talk about this album a teeny bit in it, and I call it Plastic Beach 3 fucking times in my drunk ass on the YouTube. So Cracker Island by the Gorillaz, pretty mediocre to bad reviews. Pitchfork gave it a 6.5, which is pretty low for Pitchfork. Guardian gave it, you guessed it, 4 out of 5 stars. And the ever important and honorable Needle Drop gave it a light 6. So my initial reaction to this was a big fat yay. Pre-ordered the vinyl, got the vinyl, put it on in my living room, really fucking dug it. It's the Gorillaz. See, here's the beauty about being the Gorillaz is there's not just songs. There's a fucking background story. Shit going on that you don't really know about unless you rabbit hole and read it. And then you just kind of, I don't even know anymore if it's the fucking songs or if it's just knowing what the story is with it that I fucking love. I love the concept, a little synthwavy, and it's all about a cult and multiple cults and, you know, Murdoch running a cult in 2D, trying to work their way through a cult. I just love the lore. I thought they did an amazing job with the guest appearances. Guest appearances on this are so, you can tell that they made the song first. They did like a John Paul Jones. They're like, you know what the song needs? This needs like fucking Stevie Nicks in the fucking verse. And then they go get her and it sounds fucking unbelievable. I don't think that this album is perfect by any means. I do think it's very slow. I could see where people would call this boring. I enjoyed it. This is my favorite Gorillaz album I've listened to probably since Plastic Beach.
Felt too safe to me.
I could see
Son
that.
of a bitch.
I called it Gorillaz version of Yacht Rock is what I called it.
But yeah,
it felt like, and this might be bleed over from all the other shit we had to listen to. It felt very repetitive. The opening track, I like Cracker Island. I fucking love Thundercat's bass on it, but it felt super repetitive. Like that might have been my favorite track if it wasn't so fucking repetitive. I wasn't wowed by it, and kind of going back to the In Flames problem, this band's always going to have to live up to those first 2 albums for me.
Yeah.
And this doesn't quite do it. And I didn't have time to poke into the story and do that. And maybe with a deeper dive, I could find more to it that would make it a bit more meaningful. But in the bounds of a quick fire review, I was a little too flat for me. I sort of like it. Definitely don't love it.
Rachel?
I didn't love it, but I thought it was just because I am not balls to the wall into Gorillaz like you boys are. It just wasn't as good as the stuff that we've dug a lot deeper into. The guests on it were really, really great and really added. I don't think that it wasn't stark to have them on there. They blended very well with the song, with whatever song it was that they were on.
Yeah.
With Bad Bunny. And
with the exception of possibly Bad Bunny, it didn't feel like you know who's really hot right now that we need to get to do a song?
Right. Mm-hmm. Out of the guests on it, Bad Bunny is really the most hot one right now, I guess. But
yeah,
it was good. It was Gorillaz, and Gorillaz are great, and they could, shit on a platter and it'd probably be fantastic. But it was just a little bit better than shitting on a platter for me. It wasn't anything fantastic. It wasn't anything, because they're so good already.
To respond to that a little bit, I am not like, okay, there are multiple Gorillaz albums that I think are fucking terrible. Mm-hmm. If the Gorillaz come out with it, I love it. That's not at all how I am. The first album, the second album, and then Plastic Beach are the only albums of Gorillaz that I think are really, really good. This one, I'm still trying to figure out, but I do think that it might be my third favorite. But the bottom line is that even saying all that, even with the fucking guests on here are for me, man. The Booty Brown, Thundercat, fucking Stevie Nicks, Ale, who used to back for fucking Amy Winehouse, Beck, fucking amazing. The bottom line is all this did was make me want to listen to the self-titled debut album. And that's what I've been listening to for a fucking month now. I do think this is really good. There are songs on it that I fucking love. But I can definitely see where people wouldn't like this album. Absolutely. My favorite song, this is actually probably my favorite song out of every single album that we've had on this, is Silent Running. And 2 thumbs up.
Wow.
I really enjoyed it. Evil.
I really wanted Cracker Island to be my favorite song, but like I said, it was just a little bit too repetitive. Thundercat's bass was fucking killer on it though. So I went with New Gold with the caveat that I feel like it's more like a Tame Impala song featuring other artists than a Gorilla song featuring Tame Impala and Bobby Brown. But whatever. That's a good track. I like it. I gave it 0.75 thumbs up. Like a thumb missing like from the fingernail up.
Rachel.
I said Oil because Stevie Nicks.
That's a good song.
And I gave it 1 thumb up. I thought they're never horrible, but could have done better.
Gorillaz could have done better. I very much enjoyed it. Evil, little disappointed.
Underwhelmed, not disappointed.
Underwhelmed. Okay. Let's go to album number 8, Sam Smith's Gloria. Believe it or not, we do not have rights to this.
What?
Fucking
What?
Pitchfork.
Fuck you, Sam Smith.
Gave it 6.2, saying a trailblazing figure that settles into a well-trodden songwriting. Guardian gave it 3 out of 5 stars. Really going out on a limb, Guardian.
Ooh.
And the ever important and honorable Needle Drop gave it a strong 5. Evil. How much did you love Sam Smith's Gloria OMG?
I just said, please no. It is so not music for me. It is gross manufactured pop music of the time. That's what it is. It's probably a good version of that. That's terrible music. It was a slog. I didn't care to listen to this album at all. I don't really want to listen to it again. Sam Smith is a talented vocal performer, but so are a whole lot of American Idol contestants, but that doesn't mean they're good at music.
Yeah.
And that's what it feels like to me. It's very not for me.
Yeah. I think Sam Smith is vocally talented. I've never super enjoyed his music. It is very pop, which I generally like, but for some reason he doesn't do it for me. This album was nothing out of the norm for him. There are some radio hits in here and there are some bangers in there, but this was not really stepping outside of anything he's done before. So I didn't really think it was that great.
The only thing that I hate more than famous singers singing I Me songs are when they do it to like slow fucking R&B. And that's exactly what this is. Unless it's a fucking song about a dad at a strip club with like Middle Eastern what the fuck is that song? And it's fucking popular. Like people love that shit. This is boring. This is unoriginal. This is mediocre. This is not good. It was refreshing and nice to go look online at reviews, and this did not get very good reviews either. People universally didn't like this. This is my first experience with Sam Smith. Luckily, hopefully my last. This is just so boring. This is, you watch something and this is the Big Bang Theory of music. Like, this is something you watch and you see the joke coming from a fucking mile away. And it's just you're like, how the fuck is this so popular?
Hold on. Let me look and see if Chuck Lorre has a producer credit on this.
This is so vanilla that it's more offensive than like a fucking snuff film. I fucking hate this. Does anybody have anything else? Can I just read?
Read what you want to read.
The barrier-smashing single Unholy, the first song by an openly non-binary and trans artist to reach #1 on the Billboard Hot 100. Okay, maybe I have to edit this out. Maybe I don't. I don't know. I kind of don't fucking care anymore. Isn't this song feeding into exactly what bigoted assholes think of the LGBTQ community?
100%.
Oh, hey, we've got the first, non-binary and trans artist. What's he singing about? Oh, he's singing about a fucking dad at a strip club getting fucking head. Oh, great. Okay, what are we celebrating here?
Yeah.
You looked way deeper than I did because I
That's what she
just
said.
don't like the music.
Or he, Rachel, it's 2023.
Sorry.
Why? The best stuff is always the stuff I have to cut out. It's not
sorry.
fucking fair.
I fully understand. I'm not allowed to have an opinion on any of this. And I'm just glad I don't like it so I don't have to.
Sure.
That's probably what I should have said, but I didn't.
That's the diplomat version of evil right there. I would like to abstain from picking a favorite song. However, I have to pick Unholy because somehow it has over 1 billion fucking streams on Spotify, which just makes
So
me
many
hate
streams.
everybody because why? Well, that's obviously a popular song. I'll pick it as the best song. Nothing memorable for me, so I have to give it 2 thumbs down because it's just not music for me.
The best song I picked was Gloria, which ironically was mostly a choir singing and not Sam Smith. I'm key to no thumbs. Not bad nor good. The purgatory of thumbs. The music is fine. I don't like it. And I don't think it's creative for him
It's not.
at all. It's just a lot of the same shit he's been doing.
I didn't pick a best song, but I can fairly confidently say that I know what my worst song of the year is, and it's Unholy. So congratulations. We'll see you in the finale, Sam Smith. I gave it 2 thumbs down. This is a really bad album. With that, we can move to number 9. This Is Why by Rachel Polio's Paramore. Pitchfork gave this a 6.3, calling it a monotone vocal and political lyric that don't always play to their strengths. Guardian gave it, you guessed it, a 4 out of 5.
Weird.
Way to go, Guardian.
And the ever important and honorable Needle Drop gave it a decent 8. Rachel, your favorite band, you go first.
So this is their 6th studio album. Last one was released in 2017. I feel like I should have looked at that, but
It was
I did not.
2017.
Thanks, stats. Haley had said that she'd been listening to a lot of Block Party before they recorded this, before they decided to start recording. And I get that.
Oh,
There it is.
Yeah.
Light bulb.
Okay.
And they wanted to bring back the sounds of the early 2000s. And I think that they did that pretty well. This was really well received. However, I miss the 2000s of them.
They were an early 2000s band.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
what
yeah.
the fuck?
Just trying to bring back 20 years ago.
Not
Yeah.
our sound.
They wanted to do the exact same thing that they did 20 years ago. And they did. Congratulations. However, they're less angry. I know that Haley said some things back in the day that she shouldn't have said. I miss angry, sassy,
What'd she
speaking
say?
her mind.
I don't know this. I know very little about this band.
It's not a ton. She's a really nice, good person. But there were some lyrics in Misery Business that she had spoken out about. They were super offensive at the time, but nobody said anything until recently. There's a line that says, "Once a whore, you're nothing more." She's like, yeah, I probably shouldn't have said that. I was a kid. We're never gonna play that song again, she says in 2018. And then the song picked up on TikTok, and then she's like, okay, so we'll play it again. I'm just not gonna sing those lyrics. So she just, when those lyrics comes up, she just puts the mic to the audience, and then the audience screams whore instead of her.
Jesus fucking Christ.
I just miss unhinged Haley. This was good, and the more I listen to it, the more I like it. There's a lot of really beautiful, well-written, thoughtful lyrics in here. There's some great heavy on the guitar on this album compared to some other stuff that they've done. I wanted it to be a little bit better though. So it wasn't a perfect album for me, and it wasn't my favorite album.
History of Paramore for me.
Yeah.
I was not a fan of 2000s Paramore. Like, what is the song that Olivia Rodrigo took? The Got 'Em Where I Want 'Em Now or whatever?
I forgot all about that, but
Now I can't think of the name of the song. Hold on.
Misery Business. Jesus
Misery
Christ,
Business?
really? It's fucking Misery Business. Okay.
God damn it.
Yeah, so that was like super kind of shitty music to me back then. I did not like it. I didn't even know they still existed until they came out with their 2017 or whatever it was that had, whatever it was, I don't remember the name of that album, but I liked it. I was like, wait, this is the same fucking band? What the hell? All of a sudden over the last year, they're fucking all over YouTube and shit like that because Hayley Williams has an insane stage presence.
yeah, I agree.
Fucking insane. Now, I'm a little bit bummed after I watched like 3 or 4, I realized that she like choreographs her moves. She does the same. I like that she seemed super random and kind of quirky, but she choreographs everything. All of her moves are exactly the same in every. Anyway, that doesn't. Whatever.
To be fair about the choreographing, that's also for bandmates to not run into them.
It's fucking rock and roll. Run into your fucking bandmates.
All right.
Like,
she's this big.
God damn it. I also really don't like her lyrics in this album. I think they're very
Really?
bad. Yeah, they're terrible. This Is Why is a really, really great starting song. And I think it establishes the band incredibly well. The drummer, the kind of twangy guitar that they decide to go, really fucking good shit. But this album was super boring for me. And I wasted too much time going into the history of Paramore So Evil. What do you think about this?
I like this album. I know nothing about Paramore. I am a Paramore neophyte. I listened to it. I'm like, fuck, that's pretty good. And then I watched some live performances and I'm like, holy shit, she is the fucking real deal. And they play instruments. They're actually playing their own instruments. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good album. Of this group of albums, there are a couple that I will listen to moving forward, and this is one of them.
There's an emptiness, the war song where she just sang war a bunch. It's super compressed, and then the vocals in the verses just feel, that's just it. It just feels empty. And C'est Comme Ça is the most annoying fucking thing. That's so annoying.
French lyrics are never great. And I have a great review quote from a guy named Matt. We live in a world where this is the best rock album since Lil Yachty.
One thing I did find that Haley had said, again, while creating this album, that they said they did not want to be a nostalgia band. They didn't want to be playing the same shit at every concert that people wanted to hear because it was their hits back in the early 2000s. But I don't think that they did a great job of creating something super new.
You know who she reminds me of a little bit? Mid to late era Brandon Boyd from Incubus.
Oh,
who's like a female version of in like her vocalizations and stuff.
Amazing stage presence. I think she probably did a lot of Ann Wilson studying, because she reminds me a lot of Ann Wilson too.
For my best song, I picked C'est Comme Ça.
Shut
reminded me
up.
of, what was
that? No.
Because it reminded me of
That's, you want to hear that.
It reminded me of that horrible, what was the horrible movie that we watched that was a Halloween one? It was the Italian one, and they like cut their face and they all turned into the monsters.
That was amazing.
Wait, yeah. You're comparing C'est Comme Ça to this?
I felt like this song would have fit in the soundtrack of that movie really well.
What are we even doing
with
ourselves?
What's that guy's name?
Anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm taking all of this out. So C'est Comme Ça is your favorite song.
I did 1.5 thumbs.
1.5 thumbs. I don't have a best song on this album, but I'll tell you one thing. C'est Comme Ça is my least favorite song of the year. You can mark it. I can tell you that. So Paramore we'll see you in the finale.
See you in the finale.
I give it 1 thumb down. This isn't.
You're
Oh my God.
not my friend.
After all of the fucking Paramore hype this year, because there's been a ton of hype. They're everywhere. I
sure.
thought this was going to be an amazing album, and it's fucking not. Evil, what do you got?
Best song, This Is Why. I think maybe because I've seen
That's the best song on the album.
Live
That's
a bunch.
the right answer.
It's fucking great.
Yeah.
And they knock it out of the park when they do it live.
Mm-hmm.
It's fucking fantastic. I gave it 2 thumbs up. I really like this album.
You had no
No.
I think that's another thing that hurt this album for me, is that I had seen them perform This Is Why like 10 times before I heard this album. And to me, that's the honest answer, is that's by far the best song on this album. So then it's just like, you're expecting
Downhill from
something
there.
and you get something else.
Like, do more of that, Paramore. Do more of This Is Why.
All right, let's go to the last album of the night. It is Desire, I Want to Turn Into You by Caroline Polachek. Caroline's album got an 8.7 by Pitchfork, a transformative pop experience, a passionate, richly melodic odyssey into the darkest corners of love. Guardians gave it, you guessed it, a 4 out of 5 stars. And the ever important and honorable Needle Drop gave this a strong 8. So, never heard of this girl. Had either of you?
Nope.
No.
Incredible voice, really easy to like. extremely cheesy music. This sounded like an artist trying to be other artists. There were songs to me that were like she really wanted to sound like Frau Frau. And then there were songs where she really wanted to, she was doing like an Olivia Rodrigo thing. And then there was one song where she was even trying to sound like Rihanna, which is ridiculous. It's a good album. I really do like her voice. It also, this is another super, super fucking obligatory, boring pop. It's just all the same shit that we've been saying about a lot of the albums here. Super copy pasty, super boring. That's really all I have on this. I'm just didn't do it for me.
This album is probably the most vexing of the entire 10 because of how well reviewed it was. And I'm like, I just don't understand why. It's not terrible. It's like well produced pop, but it's just fucking glowing reviews. And I'm like, what are you fucking hearing? What are you listening to? I don't understand it.
Rolling Stones gave it 4 out of 5. Pop Matters 10 out of 10. Paste 9.2 out of 10. Dork 5 out of 5. DIY 5 out of 5. Clash 9 out of 10. All Music 4.5 out of 5 stars. Everybody fucking loved this album.
Why? Like, I honestly, I don't fucking know. I listened to it again. I'm like, I can't. It's produced very well. She sings great. Nothing about it's memorable to me. I don't know. Maybe I don't know enough about it. Did she like put it all together herself? Is this like, did she write all of the stuff herself? I didn't.
There's 6 producers on it. She's one of the listed producers, but there's 7 people that did it.
No, I don't. You're all wrong.
This is your Black Heart Country Club album of this year.
It's
Black Heart.
No, because Town. Like, are people really rabidly supporting this album, or do they just review it well? I don't feel like there's like
that's true. This isn't like a clamoring as the album of the year sort of thing.
No. It's just like, it's just syrupy pop music that's very well produced. Like the Telegraph 100, the Skinny 100, Pop Matters 100. These are like out like they're What the fuck? I don't get it. I don't get it.
Rachel, did you get it?
No. No, I did not. This was so boring. This was a really horrible way to end all these listens. I mean, it was a bookend of like the 2 most boring albums out of the bunch. There were some bagpipes in there at some point, so that was kind of a high point for me.
I just can't. Fucking bagpipes are the high point. Jesus Christ. I can't. This is like music produced by machines.
Yeah.
Might as well just have AI crank out a bunch of these albums, because that's what this shit is.
It's a fucking Happy Meal of music is what it is. Yes.
I love Happy Meals, though. It's different.
Yeah, this album makes me feel old because I just don't care.
I said best song is Smoke, and if you asked me to say one thing about that song right now, I couldn't tell you. I don't remember it at all. I was going to give it no thumbs because of how little I paid attention or cared about it until the last song, which is Billions, and it's an offensively terrible song. It's my least favorite song of the year. You can mark it right now. Caroline Polachek, I'll see you in the finale. I gave it 2 thumbs down.
I don't get it. I said Sunset would have been a decent Shakira song. 1.5 thumbs down. It's not an offensive album, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Fuck.
I'll
give it 1. I'll give it 1 thumb down.
Might even be a 1 for me too. I'll keep it at 2. Who cares? Rachel, what about you?
Who cares? It's not going to win. I picked Hope Drunk Ever Asking. It's a choir again. Whatever.
Yay, choirs.
I'm not going to give it any thumbs. It's so forgettable. Like Evil said, it's not offensive. It doesn't nothing down.
All right, that's our 10 albums, everybody. We did it. Boy, mad a bleh on this one, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry about that, but hey, the year's not over. We got 3/4 more to go. Rachel, what is the best album of these 10 that we just did?
100 Gex.
It's probably the right answer.
Yeah, I think so. That's why I picked it.
Definitely nobody guessed that for you, though.
No.
Nope.
Evil, same question. Best album out of these 10?
Different answer, same album. 10,000 Gex by 100 Gex.
Oh, shit.
That's the right answer. You were
fair.
right, too.
We're both right, just in different ways.
Yes. I'm going Gorillaz.
Son of a bitch. Nobody got anything right. We're all idiots.
With full awareness that if somebody were to ask me which album out of these 10 has a better chance of making it to my finale answers, the answer would probably be 10,000 Gex. But as of right now, I listen to the Gorillaz more. We're doing a I Don't Get It award. And I think we all just answered it. What is the album that when you were researching this, everybody seemed to fucking love and you...
Not you guys didn't loved and
or
I
the
didn't get it.
reviews or anything. I don't fucking
The last
get it.
one, the Caroline Polachek, I just amazed at the reviews. I'm like, what reality am I living in here? It doesn't make any fucking sense.
Yeah.
Same answer.
I want to say Lil Yachty. I don't think most of the audience of a Lil Yachty knows 60s psychedelic rock.
Right.
And so they're going to hear that and they're going to be like, holy fuck.
Holy
this
shit.
is groundbreaking. It's not. Go buy a fucking Pink Floyd album, you idiots.
Fuck, let's sync this album up to Wizard of Oz and see what happens.
That's it. I have to say, though, as far as guessing highest and lowest scores, because the highest score was a all 6 thumbs for 10,000 gex.
Nice.
Lowest score was a -6 Yola Tango. Your old pal DL guessed them both.
Damn.
You are so smart.
The closest after that was 3.75 for the Gorillas. We had a blast. Join us next week. It's all 4 of us. We're back. And we're doing the same thing we did for the first episode of season 3. We all picked a song. We're all talking about it. Extremely excited about all 4 of these, actually. It's going to be a real fun fucking time. And I'm going to be in Ireland when we record it.
Hi.
So
Hey.
how about them apples?
Why don't you have a Guinness for me while you're there?
I'm gonna go to the fucking place they make it. God damn it.
Get a Guinness
Ooh, that's
extra
fun.
cold.
Do they do that?
It's a Guinness extra cold. Look it up.
Learn something new every day. Evil, I apologize for half of these albums.
Ooh, at least.
Rachel, I'm sorry that I didn't love the Paramore album.
That's okay.
Hey,
It
I
wasn't
like
fast.
I do really, really like their last album way more. I
That's
think their
fine.
last album is way better. We'll see you next time. Good night and good luck.
Oh, I